What sort of blitz were you contemplating?
Well, we sneak out at night to a spot I found near the wire, a blind spot. Then we dig straight down 3 feet, take the dirt, spread it on top so it won't make a pile, and then straight out. Ives here is a tunnel man, so he digs in front, pushes the dirt behind him, and I stash it behind me. Then we just burrow right through the dirt like a couple of moles. And then by dawn, we're under the wire, across the open space, into the woods, and gone.
Steve McQueen's name is synonymous with rebellion, charisma, and cool, a combination that made him one of Hollywood's most magnetic stars. But during the production of the 1963 war classic, The Great Escape, McQueen brought more than his iconic smirk to the set. He brought tension, demands, and, ultimately, drama so disruptive that it almost derailed the entire film. The story of why Steve McQueen walked off the set isn't just an account of an actor's ego. It's a tale of Hollywood power plays, creative clashes, and a fight to secure a legacy. To understand the stakes, you have to start with The Great Escape itself. Directed by John Sturges, the film was a passion project nearly a decade in the making. Sturges wanted to adapt the story of the real-life escape from the German POW camp Stalag Luft III, a feat of ingenuity, determination, and collaboration by Allied prisoners. The studio gave Sturges a $4 million budget, a hefty sum for the time, and an ensemble cast that included James Garner, Charles Bronson, and Richard Attenborough. But it was McQueen, fresh off his success in The Magnificent Seven, who was the key to making the film a blockbuster. His star power was undeniable, and his swagger was perfectly suited to the role of Captain Virgil Hilts, the Cooler King, a character created for the movie and inspired by several real-life POWs. The trouble began almost immediately. McQueen was dissatisfied with the way his character was written, feeling Hilts lacked both screen time and heroism. The early script sidelined Hilts for a large portion of the film, and when he did appear, he wasn't involved in the pivotal escape plan. This didn't sit well with McQueen, who had envisioned himself as the film's breakout star. After all, audiences expected Steve McQueen to do more than sit in a POW camp and toss a baseball against a cell wall. They expected him to shine. When McQueen raised his concerns with Sturges, the director brushed him off. McQueen wasn't used to being dismissed, and tensions flared. McQueen's frustrations reached a boiling point 6 weeks into production. After reviewing the daily footage, he stormed off the set, declaring he wouldn't return until his demands were met. For Sturges, the timing couldn't have been worse. The cast and crew were already battling the logistical challenges of filming in Germany, dealing with temperamental weather, and the technical complexity of building an authentic POW camp replica. Losing McQueen threatened to derail the entire production. But McQueen wasn't bluffing. He retreated to his trailer, refusing to shoot another scene until the script was rewritten to give his character a more prominent role. With production halted, a high-stakes negotiation began. McQueen's co-stars, James Garner and James Coburn, tried to mediate, sitting down with the actor to understand his grievances. McQueen explained that he wanted Hilts to be central to the action, a hero whose defiance and bravery were the heartbeat of the story. Garner later recalled McQueen's conflicting desires. He wanted to be the hero, but he also didn't want to do anything too overtly heroic that might compromise Hilts' cool, detached demeanor. It was a balancing act, and McQueen was determined to get it just right. Meanwhile, United Artists, the studio behind the film, pressured Sturges to give in. McQueen was a critical piece of their marketing strategy, and the studio feared the film would fail without him. Reluctantly, Sturges brought in another writer to rework the script, incorporating McQueen's demands. Hilts was given the now iconic motorcycle escape sequence, a dazzling, if entirely fictional, addition that had no basis in the real events. McQueen insisted on performing most of the motorcycle stunts himself, except for the death-defying 60-foot jump over barbed wire, which was ultimately performed by his friend and stunt double, Bud Ekins. When McQueen returned to the set, his role had been transformed. Hilts was no longer just a rebellious loner. He became a pivotal figure in the story, an embodiment of courage and ingenuity. McQueen's motorcycle chase through the Bavarian countryside would become one of the most memorable scenes in cinematic history, cementing his status as a screen icon. Yet even as filming resumed, the tension lingered. Co-stars like Richard Attenborough found McQueen difficult to work with, describing him as both demanding and unpredictable. Others, like Garner, admired his talent, but found his need for control exhausting. McQueen's antics weren't limited to script rewrites. On the Munich roads, he and other cast members indulged in high-speed joyrides, earning the ire of local police. McQueen himself racked up dozens of speeding tickets and reportedly totaled several cars during his time in Germany. His behavior exasperated the crew, but it only added to his legend as Hollywood's ultimate bad boy. Despite the behind-the-scenes drama, The Great Escape premiered to critical acclaim and box office success. McQueen's performance was hailed as a standout, and his motorcycle stunts became the stuff of legend. For Sturgis, the battle with McQueen may have been frustrating, but it was ultimately worth it. The film's blend of suspense, camaraderie, and thrilling action resonated with audiences, and McQueen's rebellious Hilts became an enduring symbol of resistance and resilience. Reflecting on the production years later, McQueen admitted that his behavior on set wasn't always easy to justify, but he never wavered in his belief that his demands had been necessary. For McQueen, The Great Escape wasn't just another war movie. It was a stage on which to solidify his image as the king of cool. Walking off the set wasn't just an act of defiance. It was a calculated move to ensure he left his mark. And leave his mark he did. Today, The Great Escape is considered one of the greatest war films ever made, and Steve McQueen's performance remains its defining feature. His walk-off, disruptive as it was, reshaped the film and his career, turning a supporting role into a star-making turn. In the end, McQueen's gamble paid off, proving that sometimes walking away is the boldest move of all. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think Steve McQueen's walk-off and demands improved The Great Escape, or risked derailing what could have been a timeless classic without his input? Share your thoughts in the comments below.